All right, just picked this one up the other day. 2006 Tundra double cab limited V8, updated motor the last 2 years, dual Vvti, and this I think 0506 got the 5-speed transmission as well. I bought this from an old man, private party. He owned it since 17,000 miles. He bought it locally at Peterson's Toyota. That is original from when this thing was new, or when he bought it in 07. All in all, it's a good truck. 139,000 miles on it. Really, there's nothing to complain about on this truck. I really like it. I think there's a exhaust manifold leak or something up front, but that's typical for a 20-year-old vehicle. He just put new tires on it. The underside is pretty clean. A little bit of surface rust is expected in Colorado, but nothing detrimental whatsoever. Does have dual exhaust, very loud too. I mean, it is really loud. I'm gonna see if they can put an inline muffler up there in between the cats and the Borla exhaust or whatever custom exhaust he has on here. All in all, it's in really good shape though. I don't see any imperfections on the exterior. There's no rust or anything anywhere on the body. Thinking about removing these side steps. Don't really know though. He said he did replace these 4 or 5 years ago. Might throw in some LEDs or something. Definitely something different in the fog lights here. But yeah, bugs on the front. There's a little bit of rock chipping, but it's actually really clean. And I really like how it's not the chrome on there. I don't know these trims very well. I've been looking for 0506 Tundra for quite a while now. I'd say at least 3-4 years, just looking for the right one. And I was actually looking for an 0506 with like 30,000 miles or 20,000 miles. So I was looking and not finding anything, and sold my LX 570. Had one lined out, same as this actually, 06 with 80,000 miles. Had that lined out, and the first guy to come look at that bought it. It was a really nice truck. And then 2 days later, this one stumbled on Facebook Marketplace right down the road from my work, so it was pretty convenient. Good purchase. I got a really good deal on this truck here. The interior of this truck is very impressive. What I noticed over the years looking at these is the leather quality in these trucks has never been good. This is a little worn right here, but there's no cracks, and it's still plush leather, especially the back seat. The back seat looks like it really hasn't even been sat in or used for that matter. And the leather on the doors, really plush, still soft. But I mean, look at the condition of these seats here. That's really impressive to me. One reason why I wanted it sunroof is operational. Original floor mats, I think. Backup camera, microphone here, all the lights, everything works. $139,362. I think I've put 40 miles on this truck in 5 days, 6 days. I've had it almost a week now. Original owner's manual, all that literature in there. What I like about the Tundra is, one is the armrest. I had a 03 LX 470, and I always thought in the Tundras that these, if you went up and down and then you went like that, it would lock into that position. This one is just kind of free floating, because I would like, ideally, at a little bit of an angle up, but no complaints. Typically what I saw was these were just wore down to, nothing right here, typically. And these ones are, I mean, look at that passenger seat. It's mint. spacious. The LX 570 I just sold a 2019, and I drove that for a year and a half, and I loved it. Those rigs are the smoothest, quietest, most capable rigs, but I don't drive much anymore, so it was kind of stupid having a vehicle sitting that was worth that much money. Anyway, there was no storage down here in that. You had your cup holders way up here, and shifter and all of your off-roading function buttons were all over the place in here. So it was really frustrating when you needed to set something somewhere, you know, you had nowhere to put it. What I found was putting things up on the dash and, you know, getting roasted by the sun, whatever it was I set up there. But yeah, I settled for this because of the interior. Completely mint interior, really, considering how old this vehicle is and how many miles it has on it. Yeah, I don't really know this truck too well yet. I just popped the fuse panel off. Didn't want to do that. There we go. Let's pop the hood. Another great reason I bought this truck was the 4.7 2U ZFE motor that got updated with dual Vvti in 05-06. I had this same motor in the 03 LX 470, so I am familiar with it. I did spark plugs and some heater tees, some hoses, and some other random things. Nothing serious mechanical wise on that, but this one looks good. See a little bit of weeping here. Not smelling any burning oil or anything, so there's no concerns at this point. This side's a little worse with the weeping gasket, but sometimes it's sloppy technicians that are filling the oil and they get some down there. A little bit goes a long way with that. Anyway, he went through this motor pretty good. 109,000 miles was when the timing belt was done, so roughly 30,000 miles on the timing belt and the water pump. Battery's fairly new, alternator's fairly new. And there was spark plugs and just some other maintenance items that he had mentioned he replaced throughout the years. But what I remember about the LX 470 is that it was very smooth and very quiet. This one I think has an exhaust leak of some sort. I don't know. This one seems a little louder than that last 4.7 liter engine I had in the Lexus, but it's very smooth and very quiet. And what I love about Toyota is you can look around and everything has a bracket to hold it in place. And that really helps with vibration issues. This, for instance, right here, there's a little bracket to hold that hose into position so it doesn't chafe on other hoses. Same thing here with this map sensor, or yeah, I'm pretty close on that. Has these clips here to hold that in place. Same thing down here. There's clips holding everything in place throughout this whole motor. Clip here holding that hose in place. Clip here holding that in place. There's clips just everywhere. This one in particular, all those hoses, keeping them separated. It's pretty cool to look through Toyota's motors throughout the years and just see the quality of these motors. This motor, for instance, it's rated really, people call it the 1,000,000-mile motor. I don't hear that often, but I do see these with 300, 400,000 miles on them in these Tundras and LX 470s and Land Cruisers and Sequoias. You know, the Sequoia 4.7 in the 90s and 2000, that is considered one of the #1 vehicles to hit 200,000 miles. So with all that being said, I'm enjoying this thing. It seems really reliable and, you know, just solid. And it's something that can sit in my driveway and only get drove a couple, probably 150 miles a month is what I drive now. So, but yeah, I don't really know what else to go over on it. I didn't notice that this topper was higher than the cab until after I bought it, but I'm enjoying that. I went mountain biking the other day and just threw my bike in the back. Worked out pretty good. And this has the really good Rhino liner too. It's really thick and it's not that cheap you know, thin stuff. Typically they have a stamp somewhere in here. I have yet to see that of the actual manufacturer installer who put that in, but I mean, it's really not even scratched up. Typically you would see a bunch of marring and scratching on a truck all over the place. And that rear window in the actual truck, not in the topper, the rear window of the truck slides up and down. That's something I always forget about on these Tundras. I don't think all of them got that of this generation, but I don't know. I don't really know the trim levels, but I was lucky to find this one. And, you know, I did research throughout the years. 05, 06 is what I was shooting for. And they made 120,000 of these in those 2 years. So they're out there. I see a ton of them in Colorado. Everybody loves these things. I mean, you go by a Toyota dealer and they're still selling Tundras like crazy. They're really good vehicles. I wouldn't say the newer generation is great with the main bearing failures and all of the machining debris that they're finding supposedly. I've actually heard that that's more of a vibration issue with the motor, and it fails the front main. And the hybrids don't have the issue because the hybrid motor is so heavy that it somehow displaces that vibration, which is very interesting because they're saying it's machining debris. But whatever, the Tundras are still great vehicles. I'm looking forward to this one and seeing where it takes me, and mini trips. Probably go camping up to the beautiful mountains. Tons of camping up there right at my doorstep. But yeah, 2006 Tundra, 139,000 miles. Gonna give it a try.